Hello, this is Chiak. We are back again with another set of Nancy Drew, the Haunted Carousel. We are about to meet an interesting piece of machinery here, and we still need to leave a note for Joy Trenton.
Keep going. Over here. Please identify yourself.
I'm a detective named Nancy Drew, and you are?
I am.
Miles, the magnificent memory machine!
I receive and process video and audio input and make appropriate pre-programmed verbal responses.
Who programmed you?
It is my turn to ask a question. Nancy Drew, why are you here when Joy is not?
Elliot Chen is kind of upset with me. I need to write her a note to call him.
There is a pad for leaving messages on the desk.
Why did you call yourself a memory machine?
Responding to the non-Joy entity is an unnecessary drain on my power units and is heretofore disallowed.
What does that mean? Hello? Miles? I guess it means he's not going to talk to me anymore.
Okay, so we're going to...
I can use this to leave a note for Joy to call Elliot.
Okay, Joy, please call Elliot C. Thanks.
Looks like Joy's a pencil chewer.
Anything else to look at here? Can't remember. Yeah, I don't think I can grab anything else, so we're just gonna beg off. And I don't know... We can do...
Hello? Hi, Nancy. It's Paula Santos. You know, I just had a thought. There's a newspaper article and photo in Joy's office that I want you to be sure to take a look at. They're in a frame on the wall.
I may have seen them. What are they about?
They're a little piece of park history. The guy in the photo found a bunch of jewels that had been stolen in a heist years ago and stashed away on one of the rides at Captain's Cove. The police said there was a good chance more jewels would turn up.
Maybe that's why someone stole that carousel horse, because there were jewels hidden inside it.
My thoughts exactly. I called the detective that was in charge of the investigation back then. His name is KJ Paris. He's going to call you. Oops, I gotta run. I just wanted to give you a heads up.
All right. Goodbye, Paula.
Okay. Now we can actually ride since we have the fun card, but I think I'm going to delay that until we need to, because I guess there's particular reasons why. What? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Nothing really to look at here. Now I miss this. I did this much later on, but I say we can do it now. Or not. Okay. Well, that I say we just head to Starlight. Oh, I did not see that last time. Nope, come on. Okay, we're gonna head to the title.
I wonder what the deal is with this red tag.
Okay, and I called service to request upgrade for card reader below. A schematic for the circuit as currently stands. The resistors are in parallel, waiting for delivery of macro resistor. I split the circuit to allow easy soldering of macro resistor once it comes in. Chromemeister called me and said that the total resistance for the upgrade has to be 15 ohms. They said the macro resistor will give 5 ohms of resistance, so whoever's hooking up the thing should hook the resistors in series. Okay. So let's see if I can go talk to Ingrid.
Hello, Nancy. Still on the case, I see.
I'd like to take a closer look at the roller coaster, but the access card reader doesn't work. It's got this red tag on it.
Right. I was in the process of upgrading its main circuitry board. I'm afraid you're going to have to wait until I finish here. Unless you'd like to do it for me.
Do you really think I could handle it?
It's not exactly brain surgery. All you have to do is follow the schematic inside the reader. Here's the new macro resistor. When you see the board, you'll be able to see where it goes. You'll need to solder it in place, which means you're going to have to get my soldering gun from Elliot Chen. Here's the engineering handbook I put together. If you have questions about park-related electronics, it'll answer them. Keep it as long as you like. When you're all done, remove the red tag and take it to Harlan. That way he'll know it's safe to turn the power back on to the reader.
That's not my cell phone. It must be yours. Are you going to answer it?
No, that would be rude. I'll just call them back. So, once you get that tool from Elliot, you should be all set.
I don't seem to be having much luck using my access card. Am I doing something wrong?
I deactivated most of the readers because of the shutdown. Soon as I get done here, I'll get them online again. Sorry. Hey, if you come across a pair of pliers, hang on to them, okay? Mine are missing. Someone must have walked off with them.
Thanks for your help.
No big deal.
A lot of things are going missing around this park. The blueprints, the flyers. We need to head to Joy because,
Hello?
This is Detective K.J. Paris, Captain's Cove Police Department. Paula Santos asked me to call you. Said it concerned that heist out at Captain's quarters 23 years ago.
Yes. Do you by any chance know what happened to the man who pulled off that heist?
He died in prison about a year ago. I never did figure out where he stashed the rest of the loot, although I'm still convinced it's somewhere in that amusement park.
Could he have stashed it in that stolen carousel horse? Which was maybe why it was stolen?
Never occurred to me, but it's possible, I suppose. I'll tell you what, the thief's name was Chaz Dunning. I'll make some calls, try to see if there was somebody he confided in before he died. Somebody who was recently released.
That would be fantastic.
Well, as soon as I know something, you'll know something.
Thanks, Detective Paris. It was great talking to you.
Ditto.
okay.
I really do need to get this work done.
Right. Sorry.
Okay, all right. So I'm assuming that means she's back anyway, so she probably called Elliot, so we can have a chat with him, finally. After we screw things up.
Well, Miss Destructo returns.
I'm really sorry about what happened before.
These things happen. So, I hear you're out to solve the curse of Captain's Cove.
What do you think caused the roller coaster accident?
That was no accident. It was sabotage.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm pulling your leg, that's why. Come on, what do I know? I'm just an artist. Go ask our naturopathic engineer person.
Do you have any idea who stole that horse off the carousel?
Somebody who's into junk.
That's odd. Ingrid said carousel horses can be very valuable.
Well, when they're the original horses, they can be valuable, yes, but I was talking about the one that was stolen. It was not an original. Around 20 years ago, somebody bought one of the horses off the carousel. The guy who owned the park back then commissioned some hack to replace it.
And that's the horse that was stolen, the replacement?
Right.
The fact that the park is shut down must be kind of a relief for you.
You mean because I'm behind in my work? I'd be lying if I said the shutdown wasn't helping me get caught up. Meeting deadlines has never been my forte. But I certainly hope you're not suggesting that I arranged for the park to be shut down by somehow manufacturing this curse thing, because that would be ridiculous.
That would be ridiculous.
Ingrid said you have her soldering gun. I need to get it from you, if that's okay.
You bet. Here you go. Been meaning to return it to her, but I've been a little busy.
Great. Thanks. Do you see much of the other people who are working during the shutdown? Like Joy Trent or that security guard, Harlan Bishop?
Nah. Joy Trent, she's like invisible even when she's visible, if you get my drift. And that rent-a-cop, I've got no desire to see anything of him.
Why do you say that?
Dude is way too eager to make my business his business, that's all.
I'll let you get back to work.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. I believe there's something...
Could I have some of these tissue strips?
Be my guest.
No idea why we're grabbing it, but we're grabbing it. Let's see. We don't need to go there yet.
Wow, 360 board feet. That's a lot of wood.
May I help you?
Okay. Oh wait, there is a very long reading thing
Mind if
here.
I look at this?
No, go right ahead.
A book on carousels. Cool.
All right. So, all about the carousels. Famous carousel carvers. The golden age of carousels began in the late 1800s and ended in the early 1930s with the Great Depression. During that period, 3 different carousel styles emerged. To the trained eye, these styles are as distinct as a fingerprint. Factoid. The horses on the outside and in front of the chariots on a carousel is called the lead horse. This horse is usually the biggest and most exquisitely carved horse on the carousel. Some carvers carved only the heads and let other craftsmen carve the rest of the horse. Coney Island style. The horses that Charles I.D. Loof carved tended to be very fanciful, with flashy, often jeweled-encrusted saddles and bridles, and C. Illians and Charles Carmyle also carved horses that were less than realistic. I accidentally missed a period there. Frozen in highly animated poses. Stein and Goldstein carousel horses are known for their big buckles and lack of forelocks. Philadelphia style. These carousel horses were very realistic, with many sporting armor and other militaristic gear. The carousels that the Denzel Company built often include horses with human faces carved somewhere on their sides. The Philadelphia Toboggan Company was not founded by carvers. As a result, its carousel displays many variations of the Philadelphia style. Factoid. Most horses that are mounted on permanent carousels have tails made of real horsehair. A carousel horse was carved out of many pieces of wood that were held together with glue and small dowels, never nails because they would rust. A horse's leg could be made out of many as six I can't speak. A horse's leg could be made out of as many as 6 pieces of wood. Daniel and Alfred Mueller of D.C. Mueller and Brother Company were famous for their exceptionally intricate and realistic carousel figures. One of the company's founders, Daniel Mueller, is often said to be the best carver of the carousel horse ever. Those familiar with Rolf Kessler's work might disagree. Driven by dark moods and odd convictions, Kessler worked by himself, creating carousels on a freelance basis. Some people found the intense expression of Kessler's creation to be a little too realistic. Country fair style. A number of companies specialized in carousels that could be effortlessly moved from one place to another. The carousel horses they created were relatively simple in appearance, so they could be produced quickly and moved with minimal breakage. Armitage, Herschel, and Spillman were known for this style, and the carousels of the C.W. Parker Amusement Company were seen throughout the American heartland in the early 1900s. Factoid. Horses were carved out of soft hardwood like basswood. This wood is soft enough to carve easily but hard enough to stand up to a lot of wear. The side of the horse that faced out and was most seen by the public was called its romance side. Since it was the most visible side, it usually included more detail than the inner side. The history of the carousel. Carousels, or merry-go-rounds, evolved from games people in the Middle Ages used to play on horseback. In the 12th century, the Spanish named one of these games Carosella, which meant little war. By the 17th century, carousel among French royalty meant a festive day of contest on horseback. In one of these contests, riders would try to spear a small ring with their lance while galloping past at it full speed. To practice for this event, noblemen would straddle a wooden horse that hung from an arm that was attached to a center pole. As this center pole and arm turned, powered by horse, mule, or servant, the rider would try to spear a small stationary ring mounted on the outside of the machinery. Factoid. Early 20th century riders rode the carousel for the cool breeze it generated and the thrill of riding something going fast, 7 miles per hour. Carousel horses were often named. Their names would appear on the inside of their bridles. Eventually, the word carousel referred to this machine rather than the pageant on horseback that inspired it. By the mid-1800s, men, women, and children of all social classes were clamoring to ride the contraption, by which this time included several rows of wooden horses. Innovation occurred rapidly after the carousel became steam-powered, driven, in 1870, and by the early 1900s, the carousel looked pretty much the way it does today. It is interesting to note that English carousels rotated clockwise, while carousels in America and the rest of Europe rotated in the counterclockwise direction. This is because the English thought it was important that riders be encouraged to mount from the proper side, the horse's left side. Also, the game of trying to grab the brass ring was never popular in England. In the United States, moving counterclockwise allowed the carousel riders to use their right hands to reach for the ring as they went by. Factoid: menagerie figures such as tigers, dogs, giraffes, and even frogs were found alongside horses on carousels in the late 19th century. But by 1920, these figures were on their way out because the carousel makers realized that many children were frightened of them and preferred to ride horses. The horses on the outside are bigger and more ornate than the horses on the inside, so they can be seen from a distance and will attract potential customers. What is a band organ? By 1920, most carousels in the United States were treating their customers not just to a cool, refreshing breeze as they rode, but to the bright, lively sounds of that distinctly American invention known as a band organ. A band organ is a mechanical device, meaning that someone doesn't have to play it. Rather, it produces music by mechanical means. In very simple terms, air supplied by a bellows at the bottom of the organ is forced through pipes, which produce musical notes in relation to holes punched in a roll of paper. A variety of pipes can be activated at one time with the drums and cymbals so that the music sounds much like that of a small military band, hence the name band organ. Many people think the music they hear when they ride the carousel is calliope music. A calliope, however, is a totally different machine. Designed to attract attention, the high-pitched, flute-like calliope tones are usually heard at the circus. Some antique band organs house speakers that simply broadcast pre-recorded music, but some still use the traditional but fragile paper rolls, while in others, the pipes are activated according to the digitally recorded patterns. Some band organs can go back and forth between the old ways of playing tunes and the new, improving the likelihood that as long as there are carousels, there will be band organ music. And I can't believe it, but I actually was able to complete that within the time.
Nancy, you're a procrastinator's dream. Know that? Come in. Ask me questions. Ask me lots of questions.
I found this receipt on the floor. Looks like you bought a lot of basswood recently.
I'll take that. Thank you.
I'll let you get back to work.
Keep it real.
All right. Actually, I think I got some time left if I'm looking at my things correctly. So, let's see if I can complete this. So, all right, but then I have to read. Well, let's just read some of this. So, red tags. To avoid potentially lethal electric shock, machinery that is out of order or being worked on will be tagged with a red flag. Equipment that is red tagged has had its main power source turned off. In most cases, the power can be turned back on by returning the red tag to the security office. Be aware that some machinery will have additional power sources. These power sources are usually not as great as the main power source. However, always make sure that your circuit is properly arranged before sending any amount of current through the device. After repairing a piece of equipment, be sure to return the red tag to the security office. Security personnel will turn on the power to the piece of equipment. Soldering is a way to create an electrical link between elements of an electronic circuit. A soldering gun is used to perform this task. The soldering gun is used to the soldering gun we use in the park are state of the art. Simply place the points of the gun on the area you wish to solder and click. If the solder is already in place and the gun is used on that area, the solder will be removed. Take care in choosing which elements to solder. Improper connections can result in a short circuit. Warning: never solder an electrical circuit when the power is on. This can result in electrocution. the lathe, which I think we can do later. Dress code. Because many maintenance tasks must be performed while the park is open to the public, workers should make sure that they always appear neat, clean, and friendly, and that they project a positive attitude. Clean jumpsuits should be worn at all times, and carts should be washed daily and kept litter-free. Good personal hygiene is essential. So good. Nah, actually I have to end this here. So thank you for liking if you like. Thank you for commenting if you commented. Thank you for subscribing if you subscribed. Thank you for favoriting if you favorited. And thank you for simply clicking on this video. And until next time, guys, see ya!